Ahead of International Women's Day, on this episode of the World Triathlon podcast, I'll be talking with two trailblazers of the sport, Egypt's Basmla Elsalamoney and Kuwait's Najla al Jeraiwi. First up, Najla has been a pioneering force in Arabic sport as an equestrian show jumper, cyclist, and now a triathlete and coach. Having just completed the first WSLA Women's High Performance Coaches course and established her own academy back in Kuwait, what better time to talk to a driving force behind the sport? Najla, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really glad to be part of this podcast and part of the World Triathlon development and get the chance to talk about my journey.
So congratulations on graduating from the recent WSLA course. So that was the Women for Sport Leadership Academy, funded by Olympic Solidarity and offering 6 summer IFs the chance to send coaches and female leaders to test themselves and learn new skills that will enhance their careers and by extension those that they train, right?
The WSLA experience was amazing. I did not expect at first what to expect from this course. But once we got into it, it turned out to be something amazing and something that an added value to my career. And it's an amazing experience. Mixing up with other coaches from other different sports. It's one of the sport that the least that I've been known, which was wrestling. But yeah, wrestling. So this is something new to me. But being around those coaches, I gained so much experience because they are in a high performance environment, such as us when we are in triathlon. So we can communicate, we can relate our problems or whatever we face, that we have something in common. So it was something really interesting. This program gave me it was like an eye opener for me because I had to reflect on what I was doing and also build my vision, build my philosophy in coaches and the things that I never thought about as a coach, because at that time I was only thinking about if I want to go be a coach, I was only have to develop myself in the technical part of the sport, not in the behavior and leadership, which has big impact in coaching and when you deal with athletes. And this is what I'm facing right moment, especially with the younger ones. So it was such an added value and it came in the right moment for me.
Now, before you got into triathlon, you were a show jumper and a cyclist, is that right?
I was, at first I was in show jumping, in equestrian show jumping. That was my background in the sport before getting into triathlon. And then I was introduced to the sport and I just took it something just to keep my fitness while riding horses, because I was doing it kind of professionally and competing internationally. And then when I started to get into triathlon, I fell in love with the sport. And also I had some injuries that permit me from riding the horses. So that was my switch to triathlon. It was introduced to me one sport at a time. So we had some running session with my friends and then some cycling and running. But at that time, before I started taking it seriously, around 2000, let's say 11 and 12, being outdoor doing sport wasn't as, for women, I mean, wasn't as much. So it wasn't normal you see someone running outdoors in the park, like ladies running outdoors, or also swimming. I had such a hard time finding the facility to swim and to coach. We only had the chance to train at 5 a.m. and we were sneaking out at 5 a.m. just to try to go to the pool, because it's not normal for a girl to go out, especially at this time, just to go train.
So did the swimming pool say you can have this slot, but it's got to be really early and you've got to be out by a certain time then?
Yes, because like girls can't be in a swimming pool on during the day because most of the guys and the boys swim, and this is still an issue, to be honest. We cannot get like the access for swimming pool as much as the guys. But now is like the sport and women's sport is really changing in this region. Now you see a lot of girls taking sport seriously. Before it wasn't normal, and now we having more opportunities for girls to join teams and to join other sports. So the women's sport is starting to evolve now and most importantly being accepted by the society, by the culture. So it's getting really good now.
Is there a few of your peers in your kind of age range in other sports as well that were kind of breaking down those barriers?
Uh, yeah, well, we were like a group of girls. We were the only ones who joined this. Like it was like an amateur club. It was like maybe we had only with 20 members. But then after when we raced our first triathlon, this is where like I had like I wanted to get into the sport more. And I was the only one who continued on the sport. My other friends just took it like just for fun. And then I raced my first international race it was in Abu Dhabi. It was in 2012, I think. And I didn't know what to expect, what the race exactly and how it will go. I just took my bike, and at this time I had a show jumping competition at the same time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the show jumping competition, do my thing, and then I will try the triathlon. And I had my bike as well. So I went to the race with no expectation at all. I didn't know that even that. Yeah, I didn't know that even like transition time counts. Like I was there and I was standing on the start line. I was the only one who was covered, so I had all the all the press and cameras was all over on me instead of just putting the cameras on the elites. So I was like kind of overwhelmed. But once I started the race, it was something like one of the most important and
Mm.
most enjoyable experiences I ever had, because I did it for fun. And exactly after this race, like I wanted to get into the sport even more. And then and then after this race, I was introduced to my coach, and
Hmm.
he's in the World Triathlon Facilitator, Vicente Beltran. And after I met him, he started to introduce me to the proper triathlon, because at that time I only knew like half, like 70.3. I thought like triathlon is all about 70.3 and Ironman. And then so he introduced me to the World Triathlon and the standard distance and the sprint distance, and explained to me how to have like a structured plan. And since that day, I started to take the sport seriously. So it was like in 2014 for me.
Right. Okay. So Vicent came to you through World Triathlon Development, did he? Or
No, he came through, it was in the amateur club that we had in Kuwait.
Mhm.
I think he met the founder of this, and he started to have communication with them, and he came to Kuwait once
Oh, right.
give some courses, like it was like a running course or running clinic. And from there, we met him,
Mhm.
and he came to Kuwait. Uh, we had like a triathlon committee, the National Triathlon Committee. So he wanted to build the triathlon at that time in 2014, but we didn't get that support. So we tried to create like a national team. We worked so hard all the public sport authority in Kuwait, but they didn't get the support and there was no support at all. So we were like fighting just to go and try to participate in one of the international races. It was the Arab Championship in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So that just participating in this event, it was like a hectic. The process of reaching there was a hectic. So every race or every major event that I've been, it was like I had a huge story and long story. It wasn't just easy, like we go to the training camp and train and then jump into the race. It was like a long process, dealing with, like, let's say my parents, the committee, and then when we reached the Asian game in the in Asian games, they were they were shocked of me being there because in Asian game they didn't expect someone who is covered, and I was like not following the ITU dress code or the uniform code, so it was a shocking it was a shock for them. But since participating in Asian games, that was like, I think, the when the support started from the World Triathlon.
Yeah.
Since that day, that it was like an ongoing support from the World Triathlon. I don't think there is like any international federation that support women and other, or people who are coming from other cultures, or from let's say the merging federation, to get that kind of support. So I'm really appreciated for them.
Well, I suppose it's still a relatively young sport and one that began in, a pocket of countries. And so, but the enthusiasm for it and the desire to see it, come through in other countries. So for you, to be the first Arabic woman to compete in the Asian Games, moments like that are so recent but still so historic for the sport are what open doors, right? And bring new people to the sport. And
Yeah, I think since that, um, now the path for the women, especially in my region, it's more smoother and easier for them to follow. Because when I started it, like I didn't have um, the right racing gears or the right uniform for racing. And me and my coach Vicent, we were trying different brands just to get the right the material for this race. Uh, but we had a lot of support from international brands.
mm-hmm.
Everyone wanted to support us to have like the full body uniform. Um, uh, and now you can see a lot of brands starting doing them. So it makes now it makes it really easy for other women who wants to participate in triathlon just to find this uniform. Also, the World Triathlon wanted to sell it in their merchandise brand, because they've been contacting me about it. So it's it's really, whenever people like ask me, I really like I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I guess people, just by virtue of being able to see it, like you said, in the online shop, makes
Yeah.
people more aware that it's a possibility.
Yeah.
How long have sports companies, been making, headscarves, hijabs, and things like that for sports events? Is that
Yeah. Just recently, like for the past year or 2 years, like now they starting to the big brands starting to make those racing hijabs and racing covers, and with these, because it will also not just like help the women to race, but they can compete as well. With the right materials you can compete, because I didn't want to just to take part in the sport, but I really wanted to compete and like shave time and be competitive. And with all these materials, like they got me to where I wanted. So it is amazing.
Yeah. Well, you haven't gone through everything and got where you are to not compete, right? You're not doing it just for fun. You want to.
Yeah. For me, I like competing. It's just not just to go there and just enjoy the race, or just to take part.
And do you have two sisters who are quite sporty? Is that as well, right? So that there's a bit of competitive edge there too.
Yeah, my older sister, she'd been with me in Asian Games 2014. She's pretty competitive, and also she took part in the UCI World Championship in 2016.
Oh yeah.
The younger one is just taking the sport, just enjoying the sport, and but she does it regularly,
Right.
but not as competitive.
So, I mean, from say 2014, where you were just kind of coming through to today, what did was there a Kuwait National Federation in 2014? And presumably not really.
Um, it was like a small triathlon committee,
Right.
but they didn't have like any budget, or like they just we didn't have that much support with them.
Yeah. So how is it
Uh,
now? Like, how's the shift in terms of even kind of race opportunities, I guess, within Kuwait as well?
yeah, because I've been doing most of the races on my own with my coach. Whenever we got an opportunity to participate, we just try to try to get all these letters from the committee, and just to get them signed, and just to take part. So we were taking the support from sponsors, private companies, and that's where we got the funding from. But that was back like 2014 and onwards until like last year. Also, when we on the last Asian Games in 2018, we had like similar problem because Kuwait was banned from IOC.
Hmm.
So I just emailed the Asian Sports Council, about my participation, that I wanted to participate under the international flag. And we got all the support from them, to be honest, and also from World Triathlon. So we managed to go there and race. Uh, so yeah, every race has a story.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And by virtue of something like as it was then, World Triathlon Series coming to Abu Dhabi, coming to the region, did that have a huge impact, across the Persian Gulf there and across the region as a whole? That kind of recognition of the top tier of the sport coming to.
Yeah, having the World Triathlon in Abu Dhabi was like a major shift for the sport. Firstly, it introduced the World Triathlon to our community, because, as I said before, they only knew triathlon as a long distance race. But having the World Triathlon in Abu Dhabi, they got the chance to travel to Abu Dhabi and get to see all the elite racing. Also, they give the opportunity for the younger ones. Last in 2019, I had my first development, or let's say my first junior team to participate. I had like maybe around 15 kids, age from 6 to 13 years old, taking part there. And so being there and seeing all this atmosphere of the elites and age groupers was a huge impact on the triathlon and the sport.
Hmm.
And also, I get the chance to take the technical official course,
Yeah.
uh, and that was such an added value to myself, uh, being around like a high performance environment, being around the elite athletes and how they communicate with their coaches, and being around the technical officials, how they set up, and how to run an event, was such an added value to me, because at that time I was I was the only one who organizing all the multi-sports events in Kuwait. And I was like organizing around seven events per year, and we were the only one who introduced the rules of the World Triathlon in the races,
Mhm.
because before it was like all over the place. There were no rules, nothing about this.
So it's a
So
steep learning curve, right? You've got a lot
yeah,
to.
so it took a really hard time to educate the athletes and the age groupers about the rules of the sport. It took a really hard time, but eventually you can educate them by doing these races and implement all these rules. Maybe they wouldn't like you at the first race, but then they will appreciate you in the second race, because it's for the safety of others. If there are no rules, then it will be like a chaos.
Yeah, no, exactly. Um, and obviously, yeah, there are sort of different traditions and so on in Kuwait as well. I mean, you've just done a Dubai Desert Triathlon, is that right?
Yeah. Uh,
So
that was like
run, bike, and horse ride.
yeah, it was run, bike, and horse ride. Yeah, as I called it, like best of both worlds for me.
Yeah, you must have smashed it, did you?
Actually, I was like leading the run and the bike, but then the horse,
Oh, let you down.
yeah, he let me down. Like two of the other girls, they overtook me on the horses, and I was like pushing the horse, but he was slow.
Oh no, you
But,
see, yeah,
okay, but the experiences. So I got third overall,
yeah.
but it was such an experience.
Well, the beauty of regular triathlon, you see, you don't have someone else that can let you down like that. That's
Exactly. Yeah. That was one of the really key things that made me continue with triathlon.
so for you in terms of like competing goals and coaching goals for 2021. What's on the horizon?
I started my academy like now for a year
Hmm.
and a half, and I have such a great team that I'm working with. And now I have like around 70 kids who started triathlon, and we also have the age groupers. And at the same time, I'm still training as an athlete, and looking to because now with the pandemic there are no certain goals or certain objectives that I can just put my eyes on and for a short term. But now I think once the calendar starts, the World Triathlon starts. So we will have like the Asian Championship, Asian Sprint Championship, and the World Triathlon age group championship as well. These are the things that I wanted to do. And for my coaching career, I really still want to focus on my development team, and we look into the Youth Asian Championship. I think it's in November. Also, hopefully, our long-term goal is having them in the Youth Olympic Games. Hopefully,
Hmm.
so these are my goals, my short and long-term goal,
Yeah,
and hope that we could
sounds
reach them.
good. And yeah, like you say, without sort of specific racing for you on the calendar at the moment, quite nice to be able to throw your energies at these 70 kids. Are there any coming through that you've got your eye on as like real potential future stars?
Well, actually, I do have like some of them. I have some girls and maybe like two or three boys. Uh, they do have the potential, but I think the most important thing is, and the hardest thing is just to keep them in the sport. I'm not gonna we don't put all the pressure, all the energy on these like few kids, but to keep them all in the sport, it will be a very successful thing to do, because dealing with younger athletes and teenager is really hard. Once you start just pushing them a little bit, maybe they're gonna just run away and you don't see them again. And I had this experience when one of the athletes. So I have to be very careful with these kids and how to deal with them.
And I guess, was that part of the course that you did? Was it like how to keep young people interested and developing without pushing them too hard? And then obviously, like, as soon as they finish school, presumably then there's another push to do new things.
Yeah.
And it's about trying to keep that
Yes,
talent
and
and excitement for the sport.
exactly. Excitement, enjoyment, like keep them motivated by doing all these like events. I think this is the key things that we should be doing. And also, the World Triathlon been doing a lot of the online clinics. It was like such an added value to my career as well. They've been doing it throughout the pandemic with Vicent and other two coaches. The development model they've been doing, it was really helpful as well.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, you'll be on the round table on Monday discussing all things women in sport and development and female coaching and so on. So be sure to tune into that on triathlonlive.tv. Do you know the details of the time and so on for that off the top of your
I think it will be Monday, 8 p.m.
Well, thanks ever so much, Najla. It's been great to talk to you and hear all about your work in Kuwait.
Thanks to you. Thanks for this opportunity.
Egypt's Basmla Elsalamoney emerged on the triathlon scene in 2016 with a Junior African Cup victory as well as elite level aquathlon in Sharm el Sheikh. Her triathlon journey has taken her onto a famous African Games victory, and she is also part of the ASICS World Triathlon Team development squad. So, Basmla, great to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
You're at home. Where is home at the moment?
Currently, I'm living in Cairo, in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and training here as well.
Is you grew up in, is it Garbea?
Yeah, it's
Excuse my pronunciation.
it's okay. It's a city that distance away 200 kilometers from the capital.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very challenging part in my journey, as I have grown up there and trained there, started swimming there. That was too far from the capital.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started triathlon, I had to train with a coach who is living in the capital and training here. So I had to travel, I think, twice a week for 3 hours driving to be able to train with him. Yeah, that was the hardest obstacle in my life.
I can imagine. And how did he discover you in the first place?
Actually, I'm the one who talked to him first.
Okay. Yeah.
At the beginning, I was a swimmer. I have grown up learning swimming, as many of the children, and then I have done very well at the national level until the age of 17. I was winning so many championships at the national level. I didn't have the opportunity to represent Egypt at the world level in swimming, and then by the age of 17, I have got bored of swimming. I thought that I have lost ambition and to improve. It's very hard to improve in swimming. And then I have tried to find out another way to train. I got an advice from my swimming coach to try to do triathlons. And then I have searched for where I can train triathlons in Egypt, and I found my coach. He is now the national coach, and he was my first coach, and right now he is my coach as well.
Right. And at the time that you found him, he wasn't national coach then?
He was training a team, and then I have asked him if he can train me or give me that opportunity. He wanted to see me to test me in running and cycling. He said that my swimming records were the best in the country for the triathlete females. And then he tested me for running, and he found my potential in running. The hardest part was the cycling, as when I got on the bike, I fell off twice, and that was
No.
I didn't give up, but he found that I have got potential towards triathlon, and
Okay.
since then we started.
So what kind of level was your cycling at? Speaking honestly.
It was just like I can pedal my my pedals, but there was
Yeah.
no level of cycling at all.
Right.
I have learned to cycle when I was very young, but didn't try to train.
Okay. Well, there you go then. There's hope for us all. So your hometown was like 200 kilometers north of Cairo, and a very different kind of place, or is it a big city as well where you grew up?
It wasn't as big as Cairo, but I had a place to swim in, but no cycling roads at all. That's the biggest problem here in Egypt, that you can't easily find a safe road you can ride on. So at this period, before moving into the capital, I had to train most of my cycling sessions indoors. And when I come to see my coach, I can do only 1 or 2 sessions outside on the road. Training alone is very challenging. You have to push yourself always. No one can push you when you are training alone. Actually, to be honest, this is still my problem right now, as I can't find a lot of people to train with. All the time I have to train alone and push myself. Some days you just can't get yourself out to training, but whenever you are improving, you are motivated to go better, even if you are with yourself.
So you then moved to Cairo as a family, or have you left the family home?
As a family. After I finished my school, I have attended the faculty of dentistry, and my college is here in Cairo. So after finishing my high school, I moved with my family to Cairo.
Okay. So did they kind of make that move to support you?
They were
your
very
dream?
supportive since my first few days in swimming. They were always supportive. So I'm very grateful that I have a family like this.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, we'll come on to it later, but for example, that African Games win must have been an incredible moment for you to sort of repay that. Yeah. Were they all there as well? Did they get to travel to Rabat?
Actually, I travel alone with the team, not with my family. But they supported a lot in my first few races during the qualification period. They have supported a lot financially. They didn't have the opportunity to travel with me for international races, but in every local race they were always there cheering for me and helping me achieve the best.
I bet they were on the telephone quite quickly after the African Games as well, weren't they?
Yeah, for sure. They were, and my coach as well, Ahmed Salem. He didn't travel with me that race. I can't remember why, but there must be something wrong in the entries or his passport. I can't remember, but he was always on the telephone. And the coach that was with us in the team was sending him videos all over the race, which was very fun.
And I mean, so obviously, your first race at the top level for and into the World Triathlon level, that Sprint Triathlon African Cup in 2016, which you won, and you won the aquathlon at elite and under 23 level as well, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, the talent was already there, but then the jump to an African Games victory is huge, right?
It was very amazing. I can just describe how proud I was at this moment. The first race with the Triathlon African Cup, it was the junior race. I have won it with just 2 months of training triathlon.
So 2 months of bike training, basically.
Yeah. Basically, with only maybe 2 outdoor sessions, which was amazing. And by the way, I have fell off my bike in this race. Had a flat tire and needed to change my tire, but but I won in the running. I think I'm quite good at running after cycling, so that helped in that race. And then after 1 week, I had the Aquathlon African Championship, and I have won the under 23 and Elite African Championship, which was very amazing. After that race in Sharm el-Sheikh and winning the African Cup and the African Championship in Aquathlon, my coach have found that I have a big room for improvement, and then we have got a plan to start racing. We have started with local races, started to do my first Olympic distance race, which was amazing. I think my talent just lied in doing the long distances. So the Olympic distance race, where it was a local race, and I have won it with a very great record. So that was amazing. After that, the goal was to start gaining more experience, since triathlon is not easy at all to gain experience, and I didn't have too much people around to help me in that. So I had to travel to some races. After the national championships and the local races, I have went to World Triathlon Series Abu Dhabi, and I have won the age group race in my category. And overall, I got second in the Olympic distance race, which was very amazing as well. After that, the goal was set to, I was in my last year in high school, which was a very important year to get to college. But after finishing my high school, we set the goal to start taking part in the World Triathlon level. And the goal was in 2018, was to get the first World ITU ranking points to start qualification. And that's where it started in 2018 Sharm el-Sheikh African Cup. Right. That was the elite race. And that was my first elite race as well.
And at what point did the ASICS World Triathlon team kind of come about as an opportunity for you?
That was the greatest opportunity I had in my career so far. So after that Sharm el-Sheikh race, I have got my first ever ITU points. Started to join the world ranking, which was insane. After that, I went to the African Championship, and then I have won the junior title. And then I went to I tried to start going to more elite races to be able to gain some more points. My parents supported that financially to start racing. I have raced Aqaba Asian Cup, and I have got third overall and second under 23 in the elite race, and that was a good start as well. And then I have raced another 2 continental cups in Dakhla and Dakar African Cups. After that, the World Triathlon team started to support, and the national federation as well started to support since then. Being in the ASICS World Triathlon team is very amazing, since it started when they gave me the opportunity to race in Weihai World Cup. Being in my first World Cup wasn't very easy, since Weihai is a very hard race. I'm very grateful to have this team around in this race. They supported a lot. They helped me cope with that weather. It wasn't easy being with those all world level athletes. I was very young as well, and that wasn't easy. I'm very grateful to have them, really. And then they have supported in many races. They sent me to, I think, the first and only camp I have raced in Alicante. I have been in Alicante in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing as well. It gave me too much experience. Was great people around training with, different weather, different conditions. That was amazing. And
different styles of coaching, presumably.
Yeah, it
like
is.
from
Yeah.
were there things that you really felt that you were adding to your skill set during that time, both Weihai and in Alicante, that you felt kind of really pushed you on as an athlete?
Yeah, it has pushed me a lot. I have got too much improvement in cycling, especially. I started to my weakness, that was cycling. But since I was in the camp, my cycling have changed it completely. I have improved in that skills that I had a lack of skills in cycling, actually corners and so on. That was my nightmare. But in the camp, we worked on that very well. I think I improved much. There is a lot of things to be improved still, but I'm very happy with what I have reached.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, to go into your first World Cup in Weihai in China and to have the support of that team there, was it Mick Delamotte that was coaching in Weihai?
It was Coach Mac from Australia.
Yeah.
He supported a lot, but I didn't do very well in that race. Unfortunately, the day before the race, I have made a very big mistake, which was going too much harder than I showed in the pre-race simulation. Right. And then I have got, after the race, I have found that I got quadriceps strain before the race, which didn't make me able to finish the race. I have quite on the bike course. I didn't figure out what was hurting until I returned back to Egypt and went to the doctor, and he found that I have muscle strain. That wasn't very good.
So even on the start line, were you not feeling 100%, or were you okay? And then it just really aggravated during the bike?
I have done very good swim in that race, being at the back of the first pack, which was amazing, with very big names racing this race. In the first bike lap, I felt that my legs weren't fresh at all in the first uphill. This race was of 3 kilometers uphills and 3 downhill. The 3 uphill was very, very hard for me. And then after the first lap, I found that I can't do it anymore. My quadriceps was very painful.
But I guess, just the by virtue of the experience of lining up with people like Vendula Frintova and Miriam Casillas and so on. How did you find the kind of environment and so on, everything around the race, I guess?
It's very great. I was very grateful for this opportunity. I have watched them closely. I have gained a lot of experience in this race. I have learned a lot, which was the goal in the races like this. I know we don't have this opportunity, especially in our countries, to travel to World Cups to just gain experience. But I'm very grateful that I have raced this race with these people, and I have known where my strength is and where my weakness is, and started to working on it since then. And that's a good point.
And how is, I mean, you mentioned like slightly limited training opportunities around Cairo. Like, it strikes me as the kind of places that you're going to be doing battle with a lot of vehicles out there on the roads. And you obviously, I mean, 2019 was your first World Cup in Weihai, but that was also the year that you had a bad accident.
Yeah, in 2019 in May, I had a bad accident on the road, hit by a car. on the cycling, unfortunately. I have got a meniscus tear, which was very, very disappointing. It was just 1 month to the African Championship, which was a very important race to just secure my position in the Olympic simulation. I couldn't make it to the African Championship. I had to stop training completely for 2 months. Had the surgery in my knee, meniscus repair, meniscectomy actually, and then started again to train gradually until I got that opportunity to race the African Games. Before just 1 month, we weren't sure if I could race or not until my doctor allowed me to race. They have entered my name just 1 day before the closure of the edits, so that was good opportunity to get some points instead of what lost in the African Championship.
And I mean, fortunate in some ways that you are able to keep racing after an accident like that. I mean, you must have gone through some pretty tough times thinking about, like, you know, rehab and the uncertainty of how that might go.
That that the easiest thing in this all was the surgery. After the surgery, you start the hardest part with rehab. I some days I had to go to 2 sessions per day for 2 different doctors helping to get my range of motion. My knee range of motion was just very limited after the accident. Since then, I started to gain my range of motion. I started to run again. Before getting my full range of motion, I started to swim, which helped a lot in my physiotherapy and rehab process. But that process wasn't very easy. I had to continue my rehab process after the African Games as well. Until the World Cup in Weihai, I was going to physiotherapy to support my surgery.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you must have learned a fair few things about yourself as well and your mental toughness during that time, did you?
Yeah. Actually, after that accident, no one have expected that I could run again. The first doctor I went to said that I have to stop for 6 months, and that was I went out crying and just got very disappointed until I found my doctor who helped me just go for a good post-surgery rehab program, which helped me go to training after just 1 month of surgery, which was very amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, I suppose it's not just a physical rehabilitation either, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's mental as well. Yeah, it was very tough time. Yeah, so some days I have been very down, but I'm thankful that I have the people around who helped me overcome this obstacle and continue to do what I love to do. I have thought of just giving up and resting. That very painful. I can keep going, but yeah, I know that mental support that I had from the people around was very helpful at that time. And also that I would like to thank all the people who helped me during this surgery. General Ahmed Nasser and the Minister of Sports and Youth, Dr. Ashraf Sabhi, they helped me a lot during this surgery. I'm very thankful for them for their support during the past 2 years since the start of the qualification period. And yeah, that's it.
On a different note, I mean, next week now, International Women's Day coming up. We have Najla from Kuwait coming on the podcast as well. Are there any women in your life from inside or out of sport that, you know, have particularly given you, you know, advice or encouragement, or that you've, you know, just individuals that you've idolized over the years and drawn on for inspiration?
I think the first woman I have to talk about as will be my mother. She is the most supportive person in my life, I think. So I want to thank her for being in my life. All the people around, all the women I have known are very supportive. I like how can women support each other. It means a lot that when you have great women around you to support you, it makes a difference to support each other, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I know a lot of people found your video around this time last year, the training video that you did for Triathlon Live, very useful.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Ramadan, I guess, is a month away again now, right? How does
it's in 1 month, yeah. After 1 month.
How does that affect, your training, and presumably racing during Ramadan is completely out of the question?
It affects a lot, to be honest, but we try to not to lose too much of our fitness. Mm-hmm. Actually, the training hours have to be lowered. We can train for, I think, maximum for 16 hours per week to be able to have that day when we are fasting. You just can go for hard stuff, just easy sessions before having the first meal. That said, but we try to lower the volume of the trainings, and the training hours are limited, but we go for harder intensity to compensate what we can lose from fitness. Mm-hmm. For racing, we try to avoid racing in Ramadan days. It's not easy to race while you are fasting. It's just you have to have good nutrition during the racing to compensate what you lose. So we try to avoid racing during Ramadan.
Yeah. So will you have any races within Egypt before Ramadan or not? Will it all come after now?
Before, yeah, we have the national championship,
right,
in this month in March after 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Egypt also we are organizing the African Championship. It will be in June, I think, if not changed in the calendar, and an African Cup as well before the African Championship by 1 week. Yeah.
So the African Championship will be a big one that you're aiming for, and obviously want to impress on home soil.
It will. I love racing in home soil. Everyone loves racing in home soil.
And hopefully add a few medals to that collection behind you. Just quickly, before we wrap up, any favourites on there? Any that you would pick out quickly?
I think it will be the African Games gold medal in the individual race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the age group World Triathlon series in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Well, Basmla, thank you very much for coming on. It's been great to talk to you and hear your story, and obviously we wish you the best of luck for the coming races.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll hopefully see you with the rest of the ASICS World Triathlon team out on the circuit soon.
Yeah, we will. Thank you so much for having me today. It was very nice talking to you.